Hello and welcome to the Business Goals Creation module. In today's module, as a team, we're going to work on a template of holistic and scientific goal setting to ensure that we have a clear end goal we want to achieve as a business. Now, while the ultimate goal of any business is to build a win-win-win business where the customers win by getting value for money, team members win by getting financial growth, career growth and a good quality life, and business owners win by getting financial growth, brand growth and time freedom from day-to-day firefighting so they can focus on expansion. It's important for us to define clear goals for every single critical activity of the business so that we are truly on track of building a win-win-win business. Now, in this exercise of business goals creation, if you are a solo business owner, you got to do this by yourself, with yourself. If you are a micro business owner, where your team size is anywhere between 2 people to 30 people, then this exercise needs to be done by the business owner along with the rest of the team, keeping the blue-collar laborers aside because they may not be able to comprehend the goal creation framework and activity. So the entire white-collar staff along with the business owner need to be involved in a micro enterprise. In an SME or a corporate enterprise where the team size is larger, you may be 30, 50, 80, 100, 200, 500, 1,000, 10,000 team members, the goal creation exercise needs to be done at 2 levels. Level 1 between the business owner and the management team so that the overall goals are defined and aligned, and level 2 between the management team members and their relevant functional teams or departmental teams. Now, before I give you the instructions of how do you create holistic, scientific, future-focused goals, I want to bring to your awareness that there are 2 approaches to goal setting in business. The first approach is called limitation goals and the second approach is called aspiration goals. Now, I'm going to give you differences between a limitation goal setting style and an aspiration goal setting style, and then you decide which style is more healthy for any business. Now, let's define the characteristics of both. Limitation goals are goals that we create based on past results. This is typically an approach where a team or a management or an organization looks at the last year's business performance, and based on the previous year's business performance, they add an incremental growth of 5%, 10%, 15% or 20%, and they set a goal for themselves. Now, do you realize that this approach is an approach where you are being limited based on past performance? Whereas aspirational goals is an approach where you create goals based on your future focus. You don't define goals based on how much you accomplished last year as a business. You define goals based on where do you want to take the business, where do you want to take the company. So the focus is on the future. Now, because in limitation goals we are creating goals based on past results, we end up setting safe and boring goals. And in most cases, the business owner is happy setting a safe and boring goal because their morale is already low because of the previous year's performance, and the team members also are happy saying, Chalo Baba, set a safe and boring goal so the pressure is not there. I'll do whatever I can. How much ever happens, happens. This is not healthy for the business, and eventually it doesn't end up being healthy for the team members and the business owner as well. Whereas in aspirational goals, we create goals which are future focused, where we disconnect from the past. We disconnect from our current situation. We look ahead and say, okay, doesn't matter where we stand right now, doesn't matter what has been our past track record. What do we want to build? What is it that excites us about the future? And therefore, when you disconnect from the past and the present, and you just look at the future and ask yourself, what excites us about the future? That's where you create challenging and inspiring goals. It's important you understand the relevance and importance of both these words, challenging and inspiring. Challenging means you set goals which are outside your comfort zone. Something that you've never achieved before. Something that you even think of achieving and it creates fear and doubt saying, is it really possible? Can we actually do it? That's when you've got a challenging goal. Now, while I'm saying create goals which are challenging, which are outside your comfort zone, something you've never accomplished before, also make sure that the goal is inspiring. It needs to be something that matters to you as a team. It needs to be something that excites you as a team, something that you are willing to wake up to every morning and say, hey, you know what, we are at 50 lakhs per annum or 1 crore per annum, but building a 5 crore company or 10 crore company excites us. It's challenging, but it's inspiring to us. That is the true characteristic of an aspirational goal. That is the true characteristic of a healthy goal. Because when you create a goal which is challenging and outside your comfort zone, yet it is inspiring and you're emotionally connected to it, that's when you work towards it and you change the orbit of your business. But when you stick to limitation goals which are based on past results and you just do some safe and boring increment, neither are you excited nor are you growing. You're typically stuck at the same level. Which brings me to another characteristic of limitation goals. In limitation goal setting style, the typical thought process of the team or the management that is creating that goal is, how will we achieve it? So they don't think about what they want to achieve first. They first think about how will we achieve it, and then based on whatever they feel is achievable, they define that as this is what we want to achieve. So in this approach, first we think of how, then we define what. Whereas in aspirational goals, it's the reverse. In aspirational goals, we first define what we want to achieve. We don't worry about the how while defining what we want to achieve. The how comes later, and the how is a process of building the right strategies, building the right systems, building the right teams. Now think about it. If, for example, my business is doing a turnover of 1 crore per annum and it's stuck at that turnover for the last 4 years, naturally I start believing that's the maximum that can happen. And then I use a limitation goal setting style and I say, you know what, we're doing 1 crore, no? Let's grow by 10%. If we do 1.1 crores, 10% growth is great. Now that's coming from the past. It's safe and boring. And if I'm not even entertaining the idea of how can I go from 1 crore to 2 crores or 1 crore to 3 crores, I'm not even entertaining the idea, because the moment I think 1 crore to 3 crores, let's set a 3 crore goal, my brain will go like, how will you do 3 crores? And I don't have an answer right now. So I'll say it's impractical and I'll go back into setting a safe and boring limitation goal. But whereas I use the aspiration goal method, where I disconnect from the past, I disconnect from that 1 crore. I ask myself, what would be challenging and inspiring? What would be something I've never achieved before as a business? And what would be something that I would love to wake up to? And let's just say I say, you know what? Challenging and inspiring would be 5 crores. Now I'm disconnecting from that 1 crore that I'm stuck at for the last 4 years. Now when I'm putting 5 crores, here I'm defining what I want to achieve first. The how comes later. Because think about it. Once I fix my mind as a team on 5 crores, then our brain starts working. Okay, how can we do 5 crores? What are the strategies we need to change? What are the systems we need to change? What are the skills we need to upgrade? Because at the end of the day, only when we improve our strategy, systems and our skills will our business goals and business performance go up, right? So in aspiration goals, we are giving ourselves the opportunity to transform our existing strategies, existing systems and existing skills so that we achieve that future focused, challenging and inspiring goal. So we are not worried about the how while goal creation. In goal creation, we first define the what. Then in the process of achievement, we prepare on these elements of strategy, system and skill. And this is where limitation goals fail the business, fail the team members, fail the business owners also. Because in limitation goals, we are stuck with the limitations of our current strategy, current system and current skills. We are not challenging our current strategy. We are not challenging our current systems. We are not challenging our current skills. We are just going with the flow. Whereas in aspiration goals, we are focusing on becoming future ready. When we disconnect ourselves from the past, when we create a goal that is challenging and inspiring without worrying about how, we define what is it that we want to achieve, which is outside our comfort zone and yet inspires us, then we start working backwards. We start asking ourselves, how can I achieve that 5 crores? How can I achieve that 10 crores? How can I become a 100 crore company? How can I grow from 100 to 1,000 crores? We then start challenging our strategies, challenging our systems, challenging our skills, and we start focusing on improving these strategies, systems and skills that make us future ready, that make us to become the people become the organization and become the team that deserves that challenging and inspiring goal, that deserves that 5 crores or 10 crores or 50 crores or 100 crores or 1000 crores. Now ask yourself, which method of goal creation actually is healthy for an individual team member's career growth, a business owner's business growth, and an organization's transformation? You will have your answer. It's the aspiration goals. The only reason why people like limitation goals is because they believe that by pursuing limitation goals, they can be in their comfort zone. But the truth is this: while it is called the comfort zone, the truth about the comfort zone is that it's actually not comfortable. Businesses, teams, and organizations that are in the comfort zone are actually not happy. They are just living with their problems as a way of life. They have this resigned mindset saying, here it works like this only, here people are like this only, management is like this only, team members are like that only. It's not like they are happy, it's not like they are creatively growing. They're just going with the flow and living in a very uncomfortable comfort zone. All I'm saying is this: transition from an uncomfortable comfort zone to an uncomfortable creation zone. Even the creation zone is uncomfortable, because in the creation zone, you are creating goals which are outside your comfort zone, and you're working on improving your strategy, systems, and skills. In the creation zone, you're challenging your limitations and challenges, which is not comfortable. But I want you to understand, it's a better quality of discomfort to experience than the discomfort of the comfort zone. I always say this to people: chaos is permanent in life. The question is, what is the quality of the chaos in your life? Most people have chaos of survival. I am saying, don't choose chaos of survival. Choose chaos of growth. Because chaos of growth is rewarding, it's fulfilling, it's exciting, it's evolution, it's learning. So ask yourself as a team, do you want to use the approach of limitation goals and set some safe and boring goals and just go with the flow? Or do you want to set aspirational goals which are disconnected from the past? There's a future focus. These are challenging and inspiring goals. You don't worry about the how right now. The how comes later. Right now you focus on defining what is that challenging and inspiring goal, and you focus on becoming future ready. The how is improving your strategy, systems, and skills. And as you become future ready, you go through this journey of growth in your creation zone. These are the two approaches of goal setting. Now, I am sure if you're watching this module as a team, by now you're looking at each other and you're probably murmuring to yourself saying, let's play for aspiration goals. And if you're thinking that thought, you're the right kind of team for me to work with. And today I'm going to take you through an exercise and a very scientific framework on how you create aspirational goals in a manner where you have a pathway with critical milestones to achieve, so that you can achieve something that is challenging and inspiring. So using the aspirational goal framework, using the aspirational goal approach in goal setting, I want to introduce to you 3 types of business goals. In any business, doesn't matter the size of the team, the industry you belong to, the financial situation your company is in any business there are 3 types of business goals. There are financial goals, there are functional goals, and then there are learning goals. Now, let me take you through a template that I would like for you to use after watching this module to create holistic and scientific goals for your business. I'm going to give you a list of questions to answer under financial goals, functional goals, and learning goals in this video. And after you are done watching this video, I want you to sit together as a team and answer the questions for the various parameters of financial, functional, and learning goals. So let's get started by understanding what are the parameters of financial goals. Now, when it comes to parameters of financial goals, there are 2 financial goals that any business has to create. One is a business revenue goal and the other is a business profitability goal. So the questions you need to answer after watching this video for the business revenue goal is, what will be a challenging yet inspiring revenue target? What is the revenue? The revenue is your top line, it's your turnover, it's your sales, it's your billing value. So I would like for you to agree on a number as a team, as an organization. What is that challenging and inspiring revenue target? Something that you've never achieved before. Something that is outside your comfort zone yet excites you. Something that you don't know how you will achieve, but it's something that will shift the orbit of your business. Put that number down as a team after this video. Don't worry about the how. We have other mechanisms, videos and modules to support you on how you will transform your strategies, systems and skills to achieve that revenue number. Right now, just focus on what is that challenging and inspiring revenue number. Take a time period of 1 year and let that 1 year start after 3 to 4 months of preparation. So I'm not asking you to set a goal starting tomorrow. Give yourself 3 to 4 months of preparation at least, and define a time period where you will start that 1 year countdown, and what would be that number that you would like to achieve in that 1 year. That's the first element of your financial goals. The second element of your financial goals is your business profitability goals. Now here I'm not talking about your net profit, because there are too many factors that go into the net profit of a business. But here I'd like you to ask yourself, what percentage of margins would you want to earn on the sale of a product or a project or a service? Doesn't matter whether you're a product business or a service business. Define for yourself a percentage you will like to earn on the sale of every product or service as a gross margin. So we are talking about your gross margins over here. Again, here I would say that this is largely dependent on the strategies that you will be implementing to be able to transform your profitability. You just can't increase your price tomorrow and expect yourself to earn better margins. Probably if you just increase your price, your customers may leave you and go to a competitor who's offering at a lesser price. So this is not about being emotional over here. Rationally, if you see potential for gross margin improvement, then put a percentage over here. If you don't see any possibility with your current products or services to increase the pricing, or you don't have a clear strategy in mind to earn a better profitability, then ignore this question. We will come back to this later when we work on your business model strategies. So for now, under financial goals, these are the 2 parameters any business can create goals on. The next category of goals is called functional goals. Now when we talk about functional goals, we're talking about defining clear goals for the critical activities of your business. Critical activities like sales, marketing, operations, R&D, accounts, human resources. Because let's apply common sense. If we want to achieve financial goals, we need to have clear goals for sales, marketing, operations, R&D, accounts and human resources, and these activities need to achieve their goals for us to be on track for achieving our financial goals. Now in most businesses, I have seen in the name of goal setting, only a financial goal is defined. Detailing is not done when it comes to defining functional goals, and this is the true game changer of the template that I'm teaching you. When you break down functional goals, when you define clear goals for sales, for marketing, for operational activities, for R&D, for accounts and human resources, you're putting together the ingredients that need to come together for you to experience that final dish of the financial goals. So let's understand what are the questions you need to answer to break down clear goals for every single function. Let's start with the sales function. When it comes to defining a sales goal, the question we need to answer is, how many units of each product or service do you need to sell to achieve your revenue goals? I'm going to take you through an illustration, an example here as a demonstration, and you can use the same approach that I'm using in this demonstration after watching this video in defining your sales goals. Or after the demonstration, you may choose to press the pause button and do this exercise right now before moving forward to the next parameter. Decide whichever approach you want to use to take my support in creating holistic goals. So let's give you a demonstration. While we are answering the question of how many units of each product or each service do you need to sell to be able to achieve your revenue goal which you've set under financial goals, let me give you an example of a product-based business, and let us assume for the sake of this learning that the revenue goal of this product-based business for the coming financial year is 3 crores. Now, assuming that their revenue goal is 3 crores, let's also take into consideration that this business has 3 types of products. They have product A, which they sell for 5 lakh rupees per product. They have product B, which they sell for 3 lakh rupees per product, and they have product C, which they sell for 2 lakh rupees per product. Now, let's also assume that in the previous year, the contribution of each one of these products to the overall revenue of the business was as follows, which is what we call the product sales ratio. Let's assume in the previous year, this company did a revenue of 1 crore, and out of that 1 crore, 50 lakhs was contributed by the sale of product A. So, which means 50% of the revenue of this company in the previous year came from product A. 30 lakhs came from product B, which means 30% of the revenue of the previous year came from product B, and 20 lakhs out of 1 crore came from product C, which makes the contribution of product C as 20% to the overall revenue of the business. Now, while the revenue goal is challenging and inspiring, something that we've never achieved before, we are not assuming any changes in the product sales ratio based on the past performance and the contribution of each product to the overall revenue of the business. So here we are not being challenging and inspiring. Here we are saying how the trend is. Let's assume the trend continues to be that way itself in terms of the contribution of revenue per product category of the business. Now, considering the product sales ratio remains the same even for the coming year, now we need to define what is the revenue we need to achieve from product A, B and C, keeping in mind that the revenue goal is 3 crores for the coming financial year. So assuming 50% of the revenue needs to come from product A, 50% of 3 crores is 1.5 crores. 30% needs to come from product B, 30% of 3 crores is 90 lakhs, and 20% needs to come from product C, 20% of 3 crores is 60 lakhs. So that becomes our revenue target for each product category in this business. Now, the question to answer is, how many units do we need to sell of each product to achieve the revenue target of that product? So assuming that we need to accomplish 1.5 crores in revenue from the sale of product A, 1.5 crores divided by 5 lakh rupees, which is the price of each product or each unit of A, is 30 units. Which means what? We need to sell 30 units of product A to be on track for the 3 crore goal, keeping in mind 50% of the 3 crore needs to come from product A. Similarly, assuming that 90 lakhs needs to come from product B and the unit price of product B is 3 lakh rupees, 90 lakhs divided by 3 lakhs is again 30 units need to be sold of product B. And assuming 60 lakhs will come from product C and product C's value is 2 lakh rupees per unit, 60 lakhs divided by 2 lakh rupees is again 30 units, which means the number of units to sell to be able to achieve 3 crores, keeping the product sales ratio of the past, is 30 units of A, 30 units of B and 30 units of C. Now, I want you to ask yourself this question. As a sales team member or as a business owner who's doing sales for the business, emotionally, which one feels lighter? Does a target of 3 crores feel lighter, or does the target of selling 30 units of A, 30 units of B and 30 units of C feel lighter? Well, the answer is the latter. Selling 30 units of A, B and C in the year feels a lot lighter than saying 3 crores is the annual target, 25 lakh rupees is the monthly target. Because money carries emotion. When we define sales targets in the units of rupees or dollars, that units of rupees and dollars carries emotion for people. And most people who come from lower income groups or lower middle class families or middle class families and have financial targets, their association to money is not healthy. Therefore, the targets scare them. But if I tell a salesperson or a business owner saying, hey, all you need to do this year is make sure 30 units of A, B and C each are sold, which means you need to sell 2.5 units per month of A, B and C. That seems a lot more emotionally lighter and achievable. So one important hack of why I want you to break down the sales goal into units and not just stick to rupees or dollars is because you want to make sure that the goal is achievable here before the work on that goal begins. Now, this is one illustration that I have given you. I know there are thoughts running in your mind. Some of you are thinking, Rajiv, what if my business has only one product and it doesn't have 3 categories? No problem. Then divide it by the pricing of that one product and know how many units you need to sell of that one particular product or service. Now some of you must be thinking, Rajiv, in our business, we don't have just 3 categories. We have hundreds of categories, thousands of SKUs. Well, in that case, then I don't want you to sit and divide the revenue target divided by product sales ratio of each product. Let's just say you're running a grocery store. I understand there are more than 500 items you sell in that grocery store. I don't want you to sit and do product sales ratio of the past and say, oh, last year how many breads did we sell and what was the percentage of revenue breads contributed? How many biscuit packets did we sell? How many rice bags did we sell? How many wheat flour bags did we sell? How many shampoos did we sell? I don't want you to do that for every single unit. If you have too many units in your business, then I want you to break down 3 slabs into 3 categories of customers based on billing value. Say A category customer buys worth 3,000 rupees in a month. B category customer buys worth 700 rupees per month. C category customer buys worth 100 rupees per month. And A category contributes to 60% of the revenue. B category contributes to 30% of the revenue. C category contributes to 10% of the revenue. So categorize it into customer billing if you have too many units. Basically all I'm saying is that make it cluster based. Don't overwhelm yourself with 1,000 units or 100 units of products that you're selling, and just identify the number of units to sell or number of customers to acquire in a particular category of A, B and C. Now similarly, if you're a services business, let me give you an example. Let's just say you're a website development company and your revenue goal is 1 crore. And let's just say you have 3 types of customers. You have customers who give you a project of 6 lakh rupees per year where you develop a website for them and you maintain their website and make day-to-day, week-to-week changes and updates on their website based on the dynamic nature of their business. Then let's just say you have B category customers who don't have any day-to-day changes, and just for a one-time website development you charge them 50,000 rupees. And let's just say you have C category customers who have an existing website. They don't need you to develop their existing website, but they need just a single change of address or update of product, and for that single change you charge 10,000 rupees as development fees. Now assuming you have these 3 services that you provide to 3 different categories of customers, and assuming that you have a project sales ratio where your last year 60% of your revenue came from project category A, 35% came from project category B and 5% came from project category C, then if you have to break down the math and identify number of units you need to sell, then it would be 60% of 1 crore is 60 lakhs. 60 lakhs divided by 6 lakh rupees, which means you need to have 10 customers who give you a website development project and an annual maintenance contract worth 6 lakh rupees. So you know clearly I need to target and close 10 such customers for annual maintenance of website at 6 lakh rupees. Assuming 35% comes from project B, which is one-time development of websites, then 35 lakhs divided by 50,000 rupees would mean that you need to execute and develop 70 websites in the year. So you need to get 70 such businesses or customers in the year who give you a website development project, which is a one-time project. And assuming 5% of your revenue comes from C category, which is one-time changes or maintenance, then at 5% of 1 crore is 5 lakh rupees. 5 lakh rupees divided by 10,000 rupees is 50 such projects. So that then becomes your sales goal for your services business, saying project category A 10 projects, project category B 70 projects, and project category C 50 projects. The idea here is very simple: to break down into number of units, how many customers does sales have to acquire, how many deals does sales have to bag, and that is how you break down a sales functional goal to be on track for achieving your financial revenue goal. This is the first function. From here, we go into the second function, which is your marketing goal. Now, the question to answer to define your marketing goal is how many leads or inquiries do you need to generate to achieve your sales target. So when you break down the sales goal, you break down the number of units, the number of customers you need to acquire. But when it comes to breaking down the marketing goal, you need to buffer rejections and you need to come up with a number of leads or inquiries you need to generate so that you can close the number of sales deals that you need to close to achieve your revenue goal. Let me again show you through the similar illustration or example I gave you in the previous slide. Assuming the revenue goal is 3 crores, assuming you have 3 categories of products, which is 5 lakhs, 3 lakhs and 2 lakhs, assuming a product sales ratio of 50, 30 and 20%, and identifying the number of units to sell as 30 units of A, B and C each. Now to achieve that sales unit goal of 30 units of A, B and C, we need to identify how many leads we need to generate so that the business can be on track for achieving the sales unit goal. And for that, we need to factor this metrics of the sales conversion ratio. Now, assuming in this illustration, the sales conversion ratio of this business is 15%, which means what? For every 100 clients they pitch their product to, 15% buy that product. That's how we arrive at 15%. Then, to be able to sell 30 units of A, 30 units of B and 30 units of C, the question we need to ask ourselves is how many leads or inquiries we need to generate. Now at 15%, that number would be 200 leads for A, 200 leads for B and 200 leads for C. Now this becomes our annual marketing goal from a product category point of view, where the job of marketing would be to generate 200 inquiries for product A, 200 inquiries for product or service B and 200 inquiries for product or service C. Now this can be further broken down into how many leads we need to generate per month. Now if we divide this by 12, it's about 16.67, which is 17 leads per month per product or service category. The idea behind breaking down your marketing goal is to identify how many leads you need per year and how many leads you need per month. So you are giving direction to your marketing department on what exactly is the strategy to use to achieve the number of leads. Now when you do this exercise after watching this video, when you do this math based on the sales conversion ratio of the past and identify the number of leads required, there can be 3 scenarios that can come up. Scenario number 1, what you may realize is the number of leads you need to generate is very easy, very effortless, where you don't need to do anything and organically just through word of mouth you naturally get those many leads. Now if you belong to that category, after you do the calculation, that only means that you've set a very safe revenue goal. My request to you then would be to increase your revenue goal, because if you're able to generate the required number of leads and inquiries by default, then you need to play for growth. Second scenario, when you break down the number of leads to per year and per month, could be that you may recognize that the number of leads required to achieve your revenue goal are unrealistic. It's impossible. It's astronomical. Now, if that is the scenario that you arrive at after calculating the number of leads required, then my request to you is to look at offering higher value products or services, because it only means that with your existing product or service, there is no way you can achieve that revenue target. You need to work on your model, evolve your product or service and offer something which is of higher value so that achieving that revenue goal is a reality for your business. And then there can be a third scenario when you break down the number of leads required per year and per month. The third scenario is where you may realize that the number of leads you need to generate in the year or per month is neither easy and effortless, nor it is unrealistic and impossible. It feels like a stretch. Now if you belong to the third category after calculation, then I am happy for you, because that only means that your revenue goal is right, your product or service is apt. All you need to do now is you need to become proactive and consistent in marketing to be able to achieve that revenue goal. And that's the right space to be in. So this is how you break down your marketing goal into number of leads to be generated per year and per month based on the sales conversion ratio. That's your second critical activity, second critical function to break down goals on. Which brings me to the third functional goal. The third functional goal is operations goal. Now there are 4 parameters of operations goal. You may not have to set goals in all these 4 parameters, but set goals in parameters that are relevant for you. Here are the 4 parameters. The first parameter of operations goal is a quantity goal. This is where you have to answer the question, how many units do you need to produce or how many projects do you need to complete? If you are a product business, it's about production of number of products. If you are a services business, it's about completion of number of projects. This becomes the quantity goal for your operations team. The second operations goal is the time goal. Here the question you need to answer is what will be your average turnaround time to deliver your products or services to your clients. You need to manage and map timely delivery, because at the end of the day, the more faster and swifter you are in timely delivery, the more customers you can service and handle, and the more satisfied your customers are. So the second operations goal is time goal. The third operations goal is the cost goal. Here the question you need to answer is what will be your average project cost to produce your goods and deliver your services. It's important to map a cost goal, whether you're a product business or services business, because you want to make sure that you're controlling your costs and optimizing your profitability in a project. You cannot go carelessly in investing resources, materials, or manpower in executing a project or in servicing a client or in producing a product and be reckless about your investments, which will eventually erode your profitability. So in operations, while we are creating quantity goals, while we are defining time goals or the speed at which we will turn around and deliver, we also need to define cost goals, so we are controlling and maintaining checks and balances to retain a healthy profitability in our business. And the fourth parameter of an operations goal is the quality goal parameter. Under the quality goal parameter, there are 2 questions you need to answer as a team. The first question is, what parameter will you use to measure the quality of your product or service? Now this parameter can be a technical parameter, this parameter can be a customer impact parameter, this parameter can be a customer feedback parameter. You choose what parameter is apt for your product or service for you to measure and say, hey, our product or service is good quality or not. Once you define that parameter, then you need to define the goal in that parameter, where you need to answer the second part of the question. What goal would you want to achieve in that particular parameter? Like in my case as a business coach, my quality parameter for my business coaching is the revenue growth, profitability growth, employment growth, and products or services innovated by a business whom we are coaching. Now these are my parameters. Now I set goals with my team every year on these 4 parameters. We set goals like at least 90% of our clients need to grow by 40% plus in a year through our coaching in terms of revenue. We set goals like at least 85% of our clients need to grow their profitability by at least 15% from where they were before through our coaching. So these become goals in those quality parameters we've defined for ourselves based on our business. So you need to define quality parameters first and then define goals in those quality parameters for you to have holistic operations goals. Now let me tell you this. This is where I see magic happening for businesses, because in a lot of businesses, in the name of goal setting, only financial goals are created and goals are broken down for marketing and sales. But operation goals are not broken down in a measurable manner. When you define quantity goal, time goal, cost goal, and quality goals for operations, you are making even operations as a measurable activity for your business. And by measuring the performance of operations, you are increasing the quality of your output and impact on your customers. This is why operations goals are important and integral in the goal creation process. So far I've broken down for you under functional goals how to create sales goals, marketing goals, and operations goals. Now let's look at the fourth functional goal. The fourth functional goal is R&D goals. And there's a very simple question you need to answer to create R&D goals. Firstly, R&D stands for research and development. Now, when I say research and development, I don't need you to imagine a laboratory with test tubes with fumes flowing out of the test tubes and you wearing lab coats and doing some research under the microscope. It's not that dramatic. For a micro, small or medium enterprise business, R&D goals simply stands for creation of new products and services. And therefore, the question you need to answer is, what new products or services will you launch and by when will you launch it? It is important to define this because many a times I have seen businesses have ideas about new products and services but not execute and action those ideas. And it's important for you to execute and action those new product or new service ideas for two reasons. Think about it. When you launch a new product or a new service, you attract new customers. People who've never bought anything from you, if they find your new product or service relevant, they buy from you and you expand your customer base through R&D. Secondly, the reason why you need to create new products or services, apart from attracting new customers, it also gives you the opportunity to make more money from your existing happy customers. Because think about it, your existing customers know you, trust you, like you, and respect you. So when you launch a new product or service which is relevant to them, they're happy to buy it from you, therefore giving your business the advantage of increasing the average billing value per customer and making more money from the same customer. And that's why here's a simple question to answer. What new product or service would you like to launch and by when, to give yourself this opportunity to attract new customers and give yourself the opportunity to make more money from your existing happy customers. So that's the fourth functional goal, which brings me to the fifth functional goal. The fifth functional goal is accounts goal. Now, under accounts goal, there are three parameters of goal setting to measure the impact and the performance of accounts. The first goal for accounts is called an accuracy goal. This is where you need to answer the question of what is the benchmark of accuracy in a percentage basis for the accounts team to achieve in capturing the data of transactions. Now, I know when I ask this question, every business would like to say 100%. While 100% is something you'd like to achieve, please understand that to begin with, you may start with 70-80% and you need to do monthly reviews of number of transactions that the business had versus accuracy of recording of those transactions in your books of accounts. And if that percentage is not your 100%, you need to give feedback and develop your accounts team or your accountant to teach them to capture it with the right narration and the right explanation in the right ledger so that the accuracy of data captured is high. You eventually move to 100% after 3 to 4 months of consistent reviews and mentoring and feedback. So that is the first parameter of measuring the performance of accounts, which is an accuracy goal. The second parameter is compliance goal. Here the question to answer is what is the benchmark of compliance in percentage basis for the accounts team to achieve in paying taxes on time and fulfilling other compliance related activities. The idea here is simple. Sit with your auditor, sit with your chartered accountant, get a list of all the compliance and regulatory obligations that your business has to fulfill, make a checklist of it with clear timelines and dates and give it to your accounts team and then track the performance. Is the compliance 100% or where is a deviation coming, and make changes in your business to make sure that you are fully compliant as a business. And the third goal for accounts, which is a very important parameter, is the reporting goal. Here the question you need to answer is what will be the frequency of reporting by the accounts team to provide data to the business owner on an ongoing basis for decision making. What you need to understand is this: if the management team does not have access to the financial data of the business on an ongoing basis, then the management team is playing blind. Decisions without data is gambling and it's dangerous for the business. And sometimes I've seen businesses don't have reporting systems between accounts and management. There is no reporting template for cash flows, no reporting template of profit and loss. And the business owner is assuming we are making money just because the team is busy servicing clients. At the end of the year, when they do the math, that's when they realize that they've not made any money or barely made money. reporting is important as an activity for accounts, and therefore we need to set a reporting goal where the accounts team is responsible for presenting data on an ongoing basis, on a weekly and a monthly basis, so management has dynamic data to make dynamic decisions. These become the 3 measurable goals for the accounts team or the accountant or the accounts department. Which brings me to the 6th type of functional goals. So far we looked at sales, marketing, operations, R&D and accounts. Now we go to the 6th category of functional goals, which is human resources goals. Now under human resources goal, there are 2 types of goals. The first one is hiring goal. This is where we need to answer the question of which roles do we need to hire for, how many people do we need to hire for in each role, and by when do we need to hire them. Just scanning through every single activity of the business and defining the requirement of manpower that has to be brought in is hiring goal. And it's important to do that so that you are not looking at hiring when it's too late to hire. Most people wake up last minute saying, I need a person next week or I need a person next month. Hiring takes time. So defining a hiring goal and articulating and defining which role do you need to hire for, by when do you need to hire, how many people do you need to hire, can give you that runway of preparation for sourcing enough profiles, screening and selecting, and then bringing the person in by the right time in which the business needs that person to be there. So that's the first category of human resources goals. The second category of human resources goals is competence goals. Now this is where there are 2 further breakups in competence goals. The first type of competence goal is to build second line of leaders. Here the question to answer is, who are the people the business owner can develop as a second line of leader to replace the business owner in certain departments. Now once you identify those high potential people, then you need to further break down for each one of those people what attitude, skills and knowledge do we need to mentor them on, we need to develop them in so that they can truly replace the business owner. Now please understand this. For a person to even qualify as a potential second line of leader, they should be achieving their results and goals in their current job responsibilities. And they should be able to do that independently without any support, and they should be able to do that consistently. Only then that person deserves to be considered as a high potential person for a leadership position. And it's not just performance that qualifies a person for becoming a second line leader. Apart from performance and results, the person should also have the commitment to the organization which they need to demonstrate by following the processes, the rules and regulations, and the person should also have the right character when it comes to their interpersonal skills with their colleagues, their skills, interpersonal relationship with the boss and the management as well. Only a person who has the required capability, commitment and character qualifies to be considered as a potential second line of leader. That's a fair expectation. Leadership is a responsibility. It cannot be given to someone who lacks capability or commitment or character. It can only be given to someone who has the integration of these 3 elements. So this is where the business needs to identify who are second line of leaders, who have the required capability, who have the required commitment and the required character, who need to be developed in certain areas. Fine-tuning needs to happen with them through mentoring so that they can fit into the role of a next line of leader and help the business owner get out of day-to-day firefighting and focus on further growth and expansion. Now, does this mean that only high potential team members deserve to be trained and mentored? No. Apart from having a competence goal of building second line of leaders, as a business, we also need to have people development goals for the rest of the team, where department-wise, we need to identify what skills and knowledge do we need to train team members on. Now this is also very important because this process of consistent training and mentoring to upgrade the skills and knowledge of team members is what will take their performance to the next level. So these are the parameters of human resources goals. There are hiring goals and there are competence development goals for high potential leaders as well as for the rest of the organization. Now I want you to start noticing as you use this template of goal creation where I have defined for you financial goal parameters and functional goal parameters for sales, marketing, operations, R&D, accounts and human resources, do you see that by defining goals clearly, We are breaking down responsibilities, and by achieving those goals is the only way for us to achieve our financial growth goals. You cannot grow financially without growing functionally. And that's why in goal creation, it's important to break down financial goals and functional goals. Which brings me to the last and final category of business goals to be defined. I have given you two types of financial goals, revenue goals and profitability goals. And I have given you 6 types of functional goals, sales goal, marketing goal, operations goal, R&D goal, accounts goal, and HR goal. Now we go to the third category of goals. Apart from financial and functional goals, we also need to define learning goals for the business owner. Because at the end of the day, the business owner is responsible for training, mentoring, guiding, and managing the rest of the organization. So the business owner also has to learn and grow and cannot be in their comfort zone and pretend to be this perfectionist who knows it all. And therefore, there are 2 types of learning goals for a business owner. There's the business functional competencies, where the question to answer is, what skills and knowledge does the business owner need to acquire in any of the business functions? In marketing, in sales, in operations, in R&D, in accounts, in human resources, or in management. Because at the end of the day, if the business owner wants to improve the functional performance of the teams that are responsible for different activities in the business owner also needs to understand the functional language. And for the business owner to be capable to understand the functional language, they need to learn the basics and the vocabulary of all these functions. Now, you may not learn everything in 1 year, but I always recommend to business owners, from these 7 functions, pick 2 or 3 maximum which you will focus on in a year to enhance your capability so that you can strengthen that department in the business. Now, apart from having learning goals in the category of business functional competencies, the business owner also needs to have learning goals in the category of business domain competencies. And business domain competencies requires you to answer this question: what technical skills and knowledge do you need to acquire in your industry, in your product or service category, or in your segment? So what you need to understand is this: functional competencies are more to do with different business activities. Domain competencies are more to do with the technical capabilities to grow your business. And it's important to evolve in both for a business owner. So this is the template. This is the questionnaire which you as a team need to use to define holistic, scientific, specific, and critical goals that will allow your business to grow. Do you realize this is very different from traditional goal setting? This is scientific in nature, it's holistic, it's detailed, it is specific. Because at the end of the day, financial goals, functional goals, and learning goals are interconnected. I always say this: your financial goals are like the fruits of your tree. Your marketing and sales functional goals are the branches. The wider your marketing and sales grows, the more fruits you can bear in terms of financial enrichment of the organization. The operations, R&D, and accounts goal is the trunk of the tree, and the trunk has to be strong. The operations, R&D, and accounts has to be strong to be able to hold the wide branches of marketing and sales which are bearing the financial goals, which are the fruits of your business. So financial goals are the fruits, marketing and sales goals are the branches, operations goals, R&D goals, and accounts goals is the trunk of the tree. Your HR goals are the roots, and the roots give you the foundation and the strength to hold the trunk, which means your hiring goals and your capability building goals, that's the roots on which you will build a powerful organization. And the learning goals of the business owner are the seeds, because at the end of the day, the functional competence and the domain competence of a business owner determines the quality of leadership they can provide to the people within the organization. So the quality of the seed determines the quality of the roots. The quality of the roots determines the strength of the trunk. The strength of the trunk determines the reach of the branches. The reach of the branches determines the quality of the fruits. Financial goals are the fruits. Marketing and sales goals are the branches. Operations, R&D and accounts is the trunk of the tree. HR goals are the roots. Learning goals are the seeds. When you answer these questions and you create annual goals using this questionnaire, that's when you create holistic, scientific, detailed and specific goals for your business. And once you create these goals on a year-on-year basis, you can then break the same goals down into monthly goals or quarterly goals and track the performance of different team members and departments. This is a very powerful template, and now this is yours for the rest of your life. Make sure you use this as a team to create annual goals, quarterly goals and monthly goals, so that you have holistic, scientific, detailed and specific goals. You know exactly what to prioritize, what to focus on, because this is an extremely structured mechanism to make sure that you give yourself the right milestones to achieve your financial goals. Now, I hope you found this template useful. The expectation is for you to answer these questions as a team after watching this module. Spend some time, gather the data from different departments, come together and answer these questions at a financial, functional and learning level, so that as an organization you are aligned to something which is aspirational, which is challenging and inspiring. And as I come to the close of the business goal creation model, there's one more element I need to introduce you to. While I have given you this template to break down financial, functional and learning goals in detail, which makes it very, very scientific, it's also important that in your business goal creation, you add a layer of emotion. This is the logical aspect of business goal creation. This is the data-driven and scientific aspect of business goal creation. But to be able to achieve a business goal is not just about pure logic. There has to be an element of emotion. Now, how do you infuse that element of emotion as a team? You infuse that by defining your purpose of achieving that goal as a team. What do I mean by the purpose? Apart from answering these questions for financial, functional and learning goals, I want you as a team to discuss what is the deeper emotional purpose of achieving this goal as a team. What will achieving this goal mean to you as an individual? What will achieving this goal mean to you as a team? Because at the end of the day, it is that deeper emotional purpose that will give you the emotion which is your fuel to achieve that goal. You know, the word emotion has two words inside it. Emotion. Energy. E stands for energy. Energy that sets you in motion to take action. So many times I have seen businesses and teams create goals at the beginning of the financial year, and after a few months forget those goals because they are stuck in firefighting. And they forget those goals because there's no emotional connect to that goal. This is where defining a purpose comes into picture. Apart from breaking down financial, functional and learning goals, we also need to define the purpose. We need to ask ourselves, what is our big why? Why do we want to achieve this goal? And let me tell you a story that can tell you the importance of why we need to define a big why we need to have a common purpose behind a goal as a team. I had a client who ran a digital marketing agency based out of Coimbatore, and he came into our programs and he learned this goal creation process. And under this goal creation process, I said, you need to define a goal which emotionally moves people. He went back to his team, defined financial goals, functional goals and learning goals along with his team, and then he asked them, this is the scientific part of goal creation, but we need to have an emotional purpose that connects us to this goal every single day. So he asked, why do we want to achieve this goal? What will achieving this goal give us? And his team responded. Most of them were freshers out of engineering colleges who had joined his digital marketing agency. And they responded saying that they come from lower middle class families where their parents had taken education loans to make sure that their children go through this good quality engineering education. And now that they've gotten a job, it is their responsibility to earn enough money to repay that education loan and also support their family. And with the business owner involving them in this kind of a goal creation exercise, and with the business owner introducing the ultimate purpose of building a business is to make sure the customers win, team members win, and the business owner wins, they felt that by achieving these goals, by contributing the best to the organization, they can take the business to the next level, and only when the business grows can the business afford to fulfill their personal aspirations of financial growth and career growth, and over a period of time they can earn enough money to be able to repay their loans and become debt free. So for them, their big why, their deeper emotional purpose behind playing fully in this goal was to become debt free. In fact, what they end up doing is they ended up naming this business goal, which is another activity I want you to do after defining a common purpose, is they named this business goal as Project Debt Free. Now imagine this, they've come together as a team, they've defined financial goals, functional goals, learning goals, they have identified a deeper emotional purpose that is real for all of them, that means something to all of them, and they've named the goal as Project Debt Free. When they walk into office every day, they see posters of Project Debt Free everywhere with breakdown of goals. The goal comes alive for them on an everyday basis, and they do whatever it takes to give their best every single day to make sure that they're moving towards this mission of becoming debt free. Now, I want you to ask yourself, what is your big why? I don't want you to copy the same template and say, oh, I have loans, I want to clear the loans, so let's make sure that the company grows so that it can help me clear my loans. No! Different people have different emotional purposes, different reasons. I once had an entrepreneur who built a very successful business and was living a very happy and abundant lifestyle. He learned this from us, and he said, you know what, Rajiv, I had an emotional fire in the early stages of my career because I wanted to provide stability to my family. That emotional fire kept me motivated every day. But now I have reached a stage where my business has grown, I have made good money, I bought my own home, my family and I go for holidays every year, my children are studying in good academic institutions. Everything that I needed to live a good quality of life, I have achieved it. So I don't know what's my deeper emotional purpose. I said, that was phase one. That was your first innings. Now that you've achieved the stability and success, define a deeper emotional purpose for your second innings. Ask yourself, what would that be? What is that deeper emotional purpose? He took a few days and he came back and he said, you know what, Rajiv, I found my deeper emotional purpose. My deeper emotional purpose is to create the same quality of success and abundance that I am experiencing today for my top management team, for my loyal team members who've been with me for years. Now that moved him emotionally. That moved his team members emotionally, saying, our boss wants to make sure that even we achieve this level of success and happiness in our life. They came together to achieve their financial, functional and learning goals as a result of the deeper emotional purpose. Whatever it is, it could be anything. It could be healing some scars of the past. It could be creating a vision for the future. Whatever that is, it has to be real. Something that is a deeper emotional purpose. So have a discussion on this as a team. Individually, what's your deeper emotional purpose? And collectively, what is a common deeper emotional purpose which becomes the big why behind all of you playing together to achieve this goal? And then come up with a name for the goal which is inspiring. It could be Project Dash. Like we had clients who named their annual goals as Project Everest, or Mission Everest, or Mission Abundance, or Project Bahubali, or Project Vijay, or Operation Accomplishment. It can be in any language, but it has to be a name that inspires all of you as a team. It has to be a name that reminds you about the deeper emotional purpose of this goal. It has to be a name that brings the goal alive and gives the goal an identity every single day in your workplace. So, with that, here are your implementation steps for the business goals creation exercise. Like I said earlier, if you're a solo entrepreneur, you got to do this by yourself. If you're a micro entrepreneur with a team size between 2 to 30 team members, the business owner and the white collar staff does this together. You keep the blue collar staff out of it because they may not be able to comprehend the goal creation template. If you're an SME or a corporate entrepreneur, with 30, 50, 80, 100, 200, 500, 1,000, 10,000 team members. You got to do this at two levels. Business owner does it with the management team, and management team does it with the relevant functional teams for the relevant department in detail. Now, through this video, I have educated you on the two approaches of goal setting: limitation versus aspiration. I have broken down for you in detail the three types of business goals, and I have broken down for you the importance and the power of having a deeper purpose, a big why. And I've also broken down for you the significance of naming the goal for inspiration, alignment, and acting as a reminder. Now that you've gone through this education, it's your turn to facilitate this action step. This is what I want you to do. As a team, I want you to sit down and create goals in all the three types of goals. Use the questionnaire of financial goals, functional goals, learning goals. Create detailed goals. Okay, go back, refer to whatever data you need to extrapolate from different departments, do it, but create detailed goals as a business. Even if you don't have teams in all those departments, those activities are critical. Sales goal, marketing goal, operations goal, R&D goal, accounts goal, human resources goal are critical activities for any business. Once you create goals in those three types of goals using the questionnaire template that I've given you, then have a discussion and define the personal why of each team member. What is your personal why? What is your fuel? What is that? What moves you emotionally? What is that energy that sets you in motion? Are you doing it for your children? Are you doing it for your spouse? Are you doing it for your parents? Are you doing it for your family? Are you doing it for your own confidence, for your own self, for your own past failures? Share your deeper emotional purpose personally, and then together as a team define a common team purpose, a common team why. Come up with a statement to define that common why. Why do we want to achieve this goal? It needs to be real. It needs to be something that moves you emotionally. And then come up with a name for the business goal. Project dash, fill in the blanks, or mission dash, fill in the blanks, operation dash, fill in the blanks. One word that is a reminder that inspires you as a team towards working and achieving this goal. And then get a graphic designer, a professional designer, design a poster with the name of the goal, come up with a logo for the goal if you want to, make t-shirts out of it if you want to, print those posters and put it up on the walls of your office, so work becomes a festival. Work becomes a festival that everybody comes to every morning to celebrate and achieve something that inspires all of you together. This is how you create holistic, scientific, detailed, specific, and emotionally real goals as a business. Make sure you take this step. I wish you the best. Enjoy the process of coming together as a team.